So as you can tell, I am home. And I wanted to start this video by saying it's going to be a shorter video than normal. The trip back, and I'll go over this at the end, the trip back was a little harder than expected. And so we didn't film as much, or I didn't film as much. It was a little bit harder on the girls, but I'll go over that in the end. Right now, let's get into what we did film for the second day of the Sespe Wilderness hike. Hey guys, so it's morning the next day. Cooking, heating up some water to cook some breakfast. I got my Starbucks refresher, so I've got my coffee. And we're just getting camp packed up. Didn't get really good sleep. I think my sleeping pad kind of started to deflate during the night and it would slide down. So it was a combination of I set up my tent on a little bit of a slope and the sleeping pad just started deflating, so my back started bothering me. So I was off and on. Plus there's these toads here that sound like lightsaber fights, so it was really noisy last night. It's about 5:30 right now, so we're gonna finish some breakfast, pack up, and then start the trek back. So I'm gonna keep cooking breakfast. Hey guys, and so we are on our way back to the parking lot. Even though I had really bad sleep, this was a great experience. So a little fun fact, not only is this the girls' first backpacking trip, this is my first backpacking trip. I've done car camping before, but my first backpacking trip, and I am hooked. Loved it. So we'll all be doing this again, right, Lexi? Yeah, see, she said yes. Okay, we're gonna keep on hiking. Are way back. It is 9:30, 9:40, and it is very hot. Already gone through a liter of water. I'm into that second liter. We have a river crossing up here, stream crossing, water crossing. So I will have a chance to get some more water there. I think one of the girls is out of water on one of their liters too, so we'll filter like at least 2 liters there. Because I know we're going to need it to get back. So it's hot, it's dry, it's sunny, it's exposed. Saw another horny toad, 2 of them. That's cool. So, hey, I'm gonna keep on hiking. Hey guys, the All Trails route on this is worthless for the most part. At Willet, there's a place where the trail says go right, and you're going towards the campground or towards the outhouse marker. Keep going straight there. That's not the right way. You're not going to find anything. Also coming back, it reported that we were off trail, so we started to double back. And the reality is we were actually on trail, but the trail map that All Trails is using is wrong and the route's wrong. Maybe it's an old route, I don't know, but don't follow it. Trust the trail that you're on. It'll kind of look like this, and we're gonna keep hiking. So that was what we filmed the day of the hike. Now I want to go over a little bit about how that second day of this backpacking trip started and ended, and the things that that I wanted to think about afterwards. I had planned on doing a montage of getting to the car and all of that, but by the time we got to the car, we were just all so worn out that it was just about getting in the car, getting into air conditioning, and getting home. So point number one is, when we got up in the morning, I had set my alarm for 4:30 and then just turned it off. And I got up about half an hour to 45 minutes later and cooked breakfast, but I had to pack up everyone's gear. Not the personal effects, but their tent, their sleeping bag, or their sleeping quilt, their sleeping pad, and get that all ready to go. So it took us a long time to get out of camp. We didn't get out of camp until 6:37. So by the time we started hitting the trail, it had already started to get really, really warm. And that trail has zero shade. It is all exposed, and it's all out in the open, and it was very, very hot. So that wore on the girls, and it wore on me. In fact, on that trip, I drank 4.5 liters of water, which is more water than I normally drink on a huge hike, but it was just so hot. The second thing is that if you notice in the hike, there's a lot of times I got way in front of the girls. They were not dealing with the weight and the heat as well as I was. Part of the problem was my wife had a raw spot on her shoulder that she had gotten from the day hike at Mount Waterman earlier, the week before, and the pack over those 2 days had worn one of those spots into a sore. We ended up taking some gauze out, putting gauze over it, and leucotaping both of those 2 spots, because she had it on both sides, but one was really bad, and that helped. But the pack did wear on her a little bit, just because she'd already had an out spot, like a raw spot. The third thing is I do wish I'd filmed more. Towards the end, we got into some water crossings, we got into some spots that were interesting. It became this war of attrition, and to quote Darwin, I didn't embrace the suck. I stopped feeling like filming. It was just too hot. I'd seen everything there before, and instead of kind of bringing you guys my experience, and later on, my family when they watch this post-mortem, I didn't. I was concerned about the girls. I was concerned about getting us out of that area, and the distance was a lot longer than we expected. All Trails says that from parking lot to the hot springs and back is about 9.9 miles, and we clocked it at 11:1, and that was with getting just slightly lost on the way back. We did trail it right back. The other thing I'd like to point out is finding Willet Hot Springs, or the All Trails route to get to the Willet campgrounds, or Willet Campgrounds, no R. Willet Campgrounds is wrong. We went up a stream for a long distance, and then you couldn't get over to where those cabins were. There's a trail sign that points to go that way. If you go straight, you run right into the camp spots. The girls actually tried to make it to the hot springs, and they got what seems to be maybe 50 to 45 feet away before turning around, because it's steep. It's hard to get to that hot springs if you've never seen it, never been to it, and I didn't go with them, so they got lost. So that was another point that I think I should have done, but I was tired getting there. We had gone so wrong, and it was about 12.5 miles, 12.2 miles there, and we had all the food and water weight on us. All that said, I don't know how I can talk the girls into doing another backpacking trip, but I loved it. And so I am looking forward to next year, if this COVID finally does go away, if the vaccines really are there, doing that big section, the PCT I said I was going to do this year, but also adding section D, which starts at Cajon Pass, which is the 15, comes through the Angeles Forest past Mount Baden-Powell,
and down to Agua Dulce and then continuing it. So it'll be a 2-week trip, about 210 to 225 miles depending on what site you get your numbers from. That's what I'm looking forward to. However, I am still going to try to do the Gabrielino Trail. It'll just require Chantry Flat to open up for me to do it, or I'm gonna have to do it over a weekday, take 2 days off and just do it over a weekday. Plan is leave my car at JPL and take an Uber to Chantry Flat and then hike out of Chantry Flat and then to West Fork or Valley Forge and then Valley Forge up and around to JPL. That's it. I enjoyed the hike and I'm hooked on backpacking. With that said, hike on.